Welcome everybody to our live stream here on Twitch and lichess. Welcome to the lockdown. International Master William Paschall. No live game from Yekaterinburg today. No sports in the world. Nothing to do but play chess ourselves online. So let's hang out with Ponda and play some 5+3 blitz. Today is a rest day, I think, at the candidates tournament. It seemed kind of early to have a rest day. They've only played 3 rounds. But I believe that today is off. So let's get started here. Astrobate, what's up? Good to see you. We've got 2 hours. I can stream until 1 o'clock. Let's get some games going. 5+3 casual, please. Play, create game. Five plus 8. What am I doing? All right. Lobby. Sidorov. 3+2. Master. Master Sidorov. I am not yet awake. Been awake for over 2 hours. We are live. Ooh, the Trompowski. This is how Grandmaster ambushed me. The Trompowski's lame. Alright, let's play 94. Yeah. This is just lame. Lame is the game. Queen takes. The problem is, queen takes. Can you do that? I rarely play knight e4. Knight c6, take, bishop c7. Massively falling behind development. It does seem rather dangerous for white. Is he going to try to take a pawn with like queen takes, pawn takes, bishop c7? I can't believe that's good for white. But these guys who play the Trompowski know their lines really well. I shouldn't warm up with a 2200. Anyway, whatever. If we lose, we lose. 5+0. Oh, yes. King on d2. Tempted to play queen d8. But admittedly, this is weak. Bishop d6, now I don't like that move. It's just like on autopilot. White is just completely on autopilot. King on d2. What is that? With the queens on the board? Okay, this is 3+2. It's not even 5+0. With an increment. I think he should have traded bishops and played queen a3 there. Though it's not that convincing. I have b6. Maybe not. Okay, cool. Maybe cool. Queen c7. This guy's kind of frightening in a weird sort of way. What is this opening? To play the Trompowski with your king on d2, it's like mental. He basically should be playing the London system. It's the same thing. He finally sold out for this plan. Gave up the tension to play Queen A3. You beat it in 1808. Nice job. So it has to be, what is an inheritance virus? And who are they? Okay, what's this about? Queen C2? Queen C2 has been played. Never would have imagined Bishop D3 was coming next. He's sort of played this a few times with White. Very systematic. Completely normal to play with your king on D2 such a way. Now what are you going to do when I take on D4? You're going to give me your F pawn? You're going to open the C file? Okay. Check. No time for half measures, friend. Must kill. No, I'm not going to just trade queens with you. H4, master. Is that a realistic expectation? Wow. I think he should have played it the other way. I have no waiting move? Man, this guy is unbelievable. Wow. He's got a lot of friends. I don't think I ever had a winning position. Interesting style there. What a game. Did I ever have a winning position? Yeah, probably, but it's not easy. Not clear. Defended like perfectly. How do I win this position? E5. Oh my god. How does this win, though? How does this win if white just sits there? I don't get it. How is this a win? Very complicated idea. I've got bishop d7 coming back to hit that in some variations. Wow. I mean, there's got to be exceedingly complicated stuff, like bishop d7, walking my king over here. Easier said than done, Stockfish. Siwizzo. We've got 5+3. That's what it says. You take the opportunity that Mr. Slow is sleeping. Blobix just donated 100 bits, sneaking in front. Yeah, there was some debate yesterday. I wasn't sure when you snuck in front of Mr. Slow before. Welcome to our lockdown chess stream here. We've got 2 hours to play, so subscribers aren't necessarily first today, playing whoever. As long as you have 100 games and it's casual. Fatan. I like to open up the challenges to non-subscribers on Fridays, so we have something different. Not only the same subscribers every day. Blobby, thanks for the donation. What's new in the apocalyptic world? Everybody? That was a good game by my opponent. He played really systematically. He might have been lost, but it was very hard to prove it in that ending. Limited time. So I never really was a big fan of this setup for black. Push the pawn back to e7, play g6, bishop g7. I prefer that. He dropped a rook. But that's the issue. That's why black's line is really not very good. Because of the problem on the queen side, that's why this variation is considered kind of unreliable for black. Good to see everybody. I guess you've got nothing better to do than to hang out with me here. We're taking challenges 5+3. The only time control, keep it simple. Alright. Rest day at the candidates tournament. My opponent here doesn't mind being down a piece. But you gotta move here. Bishop takes f2 check. He's down a rook, actually. It's more than just a piece. It's a large piece. Zen chess. I'm not really like playing favorites in the candidates, but I thought yesterday was a super important game, obviously. And Caruana can't really abide by what he did. But, you know, a lot of people be like, in hindsight, this was a blunder by me. In hindsight, oh, he's so stupid. You know, but I think it took a really strong analyst to realize how bad the whole pawn sack could work out for black if he's not careful. Go ding, he's only -1. Fantastic score, 1 out of 3. But at least it will keep it interesting. I mean, my opponent here probably playing bullet chess. Let me guess. No. Playing really, really fast. I mean, you've got a lot of time. There's no reason to play this fast. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't know Zen chess, frankly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what he's expected to do, you know? I think that what Caruana did was, like, disrespecting the principles of chess, almost, you know? You might as well just play the England Gambit on move 1. Just play d4, e5. Just give him a central pawn for nothing against the third best player in the world. It seems like basically the same thing. Of course, Blubix, it's an idiotic decision. It was absolutely idiotic decision. I don't know if his brain has been affected by coronavirus or he's just still childish and immature. But I don't know of any world champions who would have played that pawn sacrifice. Maybe you guys would like to disagree. Zen chess, it just loses a pawn. I mean, it's just not the kind of pawn sack you can play against the 2700 player or 2750. It's interesting for surprise in rapid chess or something. It was a really ridiculous gambit. I mean, that's a consensus among all the strong players that I've seen. But a lot of amateurs thinks that it's a really cool idea. Yeah, my first reaction was that it's an insane gamble. And I was right. Yesterday, somebody on the chat said that they overheard that Gustafsson said he had faced it before, but I'm not sure in what context. Because that would be like very interesting if this move had been played before and Ding just didn't know about it, you know. That makes the whole thing a little even more interesting. But I don't know if that's been confirmed. Maybe Gustafsson just said that he faced it in blitz, some anonymous game or something, you know, which would be very conceivable. I think there's a place for gambits and stuff, you know, but not at the 2750 plus level qualifying for the World Championship. It's probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen Caruana do. You know, if there's anyone in the world capable of refuting this dubious pawn sacrifice, you're playing against the guy that's capable of doing it. So why do it? Like Blobix is right. Like you've got a great score. You got 1.5 out of 2, and your opponent has 0 out of 2, and he's basically your greatest competitor in the tournament. So you're gonna literally give him a chance to catch up to you. It's unbelievable. Like if you're Caruana's coach, you're like pulling your hair out, you know, and just like quitting the team and going home. At that point, like, it's just mind-boggling, you know. If there was like an extra prize of like $1 million for winning this game, I mean, maybe you go for it. Even then, I'm not sure it's a good idea. I think it was arrogance, man. Just arrogance. I don't know. He's seen my opponents here, obviously, Blavix. He was hanging out with Morales and someone on sound. These guys that just like they're very cocky and they think that they can just sacrifice pawns for nothing in the opening. That doesn't fly at that level. It's like it shouldn't even fly at my level, but you guys get away with it sometimes. There are definitely pawn sacrifices for the initiative, but I like, why not play the Banco or something where you're sacrificing a wing pawn? I would much prefer to play the Banco and lose like my B pawn than to just like give my central pawn to a 2800. It's just like, thank God, like Ding won. There's some respect for principles will remain. All right, what are we gonna do? Fabia's seen the world. I mean, he's so strong tactically, right? He could swindle almost anybody with the slightest tactical mistake in that kind of game. I didn't like, when he played bishop takes c4, he traded his bishop on b3 for the knight on c4. Even there, like, I think if you look with an engine, the computer says that black has some decent compensation, probably. But it seems counterintuitive to play bishop takes c4. Like, why are we trading pieces at all? I mean, I don't know if that was his analysis or it was beyond his analysis or whatever. Assuming like he had quite a bit of analysis on this pawn sack, but it seemed strange to trade pieces for me. F6. I've been studying with Mule Skinner. We've had 2 of these on the Thursday subscriber stream. In the last 2 weeks, we went over with Mule Skinner. 1 win and, what was it? No, a draw and a loss, but both interesting games. So, what's up, guys? Bishop d6, castles. So Mule Skinner faced castles and queen c7, I guess, respectively. And Mule Skinner played, if you guys are wondering who Mule Skinner is, he's one of our subscribers, but he played this in 1 game. That was the game he lost. We looked at 2 weeks ago. And maybe I'm going to go bishop g5. This is the other main line. I think bishop f4 is maybe number 1 choice. That's not right to go back to e7. That's got to be like a concrete mistake. I'm not really sure what the right move is for black. I only play this for white, but not even... I've never actually played this line in the real world. Well, would it make sense now to play knight c3? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I made an error. I don't know. I mean, queen b6, queen d2 kind of looks okay. I mean, this can't be right for black to play bishop b7. You're just retreating. You're going to play queen e8. That's fine. I like bishops on g3. So we've got challenges. I'm just taking these as I get them. 10-year-old Asmir Morwa. How's the life where you guys are at? Paris, Cambodia, Las Vegas, Zen chess. How about you? I can't believe the surreal world we're living in. Now it's like impossible to travel anywhere. I can't believe this is happening. Last year I thought my life couldn't get any worse. An alien spaceship will land next. Bishop d7, you're going through e8. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of food. It's just a matter of them supplying it. I don't see any reason why there should be a shortage of food. Individual stores, like, not getting restocked. I think that will kind of be a temporary problem only. The initial panic will wear off when people realize like there's no real food shortages. Yeah, my wife went out today to the doctor, and she said she was the only person on the trolley. On one direction, she was the only person on a normally full streetcar. People, like a few people walking dogs, stuff like that, basically. Yeah, I mean, I think the panic will slowly kind of wear off. I mean, it's not like there's a real apocalypse and you know, factories can't produce things. All right. Strange setup here for black with the queen h5. Asterby, what's your favorite plan? He's got it covered, though. He's got it covered with queen h5. I need toilet paper to feed my guinea pigs those paper rolls in the middle. You know, it's very, very vital to our lockdown. So, if you have any extra toilet paper rolls, send them my way. Yeah, no, I mean, we don't want to go to the doctor either. But if you have to get like a prescription or something, there's really no choice. But Budapest isn't like France. I don't think things have gotten as advanced here yet. Not to say it won't. We don't kiss everybody that we meet on the street. Actually, they do. That's ironic, though. A lot of people really do. It's just a European thing. But it's my Blobix joke. I was going to play this. You went back to c8. We're going to attack like Asterbate. Yeah, like in the post office, they have they have masks but no gloves. Be very careful if you're like touching money. Money is probably like the best way to transmit it. How long does it take for the money to like decontaminate itself? Spring break was canceled. Are you serious, dude? You didn't see all those like TV news coverages of the idiotic students in Florida partying? What else did anybody talk about? Maybe virtual currency will take off as a result of coronavirus. this way too passively. That's another pawn. I'm like a buzzsaw tactically. Wow, you still live in Lombardy. What is Percy Upworth doing? Alright, 10-year-old is up. Everyone's going to get $1,000 something. The Trump re-election fund. A desperate ploy to get Trump re-elected. I'm wondering how that works in chess. Like, how do they decide? Like, how do they even... I mean, is it like the U.S. Census that determines like where they would send your check, or is it related to the Internal Revenue Service? Do they send your check like where you get your IRS refund? It's a good question. But you have to pay taxes on the money that they give you. So if you get like $1,000, just deduct like $200. Just deduct $200 like right off the top. It's sort of insane. You have to pay taxes on it. So immediately, if you get $1,000, pretend it's $800. I usually play Sicilian, well, several different variations. I do play classical, the so-called classical Sicilian, with knight f6 and knight c6. I fianchetto often, though. I do play the accelerated dragon, so I play both. I used to play other things, like Skaven too, but primarily those two, I'll alternate between those two. And I do play fianchetto in certain lines of the classical Sicilian, if I can do it. I think the fianchettoing is the optimal position for the bishop. I'm just curious where they're going to be sending my check, Zen Chess. To my post office box or here in Hungary? There'll probably be some rule that like U.S. citizens who live abroad don't get money. They don't even know for sure. Actually, I live in both places, technically, legally. I want my money, damn it. Knight d5 is a good move, actually. Takes and knight d5. And then he'll play b4. Interesting. It's kind of a cool solution by white. Okay, queen d7, b4, e6, b5, ed, pawn takes. That actually looks like a semi-refutation. b4, e6, b takes c. What am I talking about? b5, ed, pawn takes, pawn takes. An almost refutation. Now queen a4. Go send the money to the guy who bought my house. Don't even joke about that. I'm thinking, could that happen? No. But if they went by like this U.S. Census, they could. I mean, my name, everything gets forwarded to a post office box. So hopefully they're not going to send it to the guy who bought my house. I didn't know that Yang wanted to give everybody $1,000 a month. That's awesome. I should have voted for him in the primary. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I really will. I just still don't believe they're really going to do that. It's a publicity stunt. 10-year-old is playing this in a really interesting way. Bishop takes h3, knight d5, now bishop d2 with the idea of bishop c3. Extremely subtle. I honestly thought queen a4 was a cool idea. Now the question is, should I play knight to d4? f6 is also under consideration. That's ugly though. Bad bishop. The bad bishop that could. Children's story. Surely. Bishop d4, cd4. How bad is my bad bishop? It's an interesting debate. More should be discussed about this in chess strategy books, probably. Is it really a bad bishop? How bad is my bad bishop? Gifted, Mr. Stillgrind? Yeah, he's not always here for the morning streams, sometimes. But we had a lot of gift subs yesterday. Very generous. Not only he, but not only him, but also Move 11. Knight f5. Caruana like pawn sacrifice. Oh no, I dropped my d4 pawn. It's so sad though. I mean, we're like, oh, I might get $1,000, but the world is like collapsing around us. What am I going to do with $1,000 when I can't even leave my house? It's so ridiculous. All right. h4. No, I mean, seriously, for a lot of people, it will make a big difference. I'm sure. Massive. But still, it's not going to be like a long-term solution. $1,000 a month. That's more like it. How about d5? No, let's not do anything. Just castle. It's all right. Now we're going to play central. Central chess. Space is space. But wenig. So I have an interesting question for anyone who witnessed the Caruana debacle yesterday. Seriously, would any real past world champion have made that pawn sacrifice with e5? Do you guys, this is just a point for debate, Does anybody here think that any former world champion, I'm not counting like Ponomarev or Kasim Janov or any of those FIDE knockout guys, Halifman, any legitimate world champion would have ever made the pawn sacrifice Caruana made yesterday against Ding with e5 in the opening? Because I certainly know that Carlsen definitely would not. That's why Carlsen is world champion. He doesn't gamble in chess. I mean, this is probably one of his greatest strengths. Very, very strong practical player. Almost everything that Carlsen does is calculated sort of in a practical sense. Queen c1, interesting. How about now, like bishop h6 and e5? If we switch plans. Yeah, of course it was prep. So Asmir says maybe Tal. Good point. I thought that maybe Kasparov, would make such a pawn sacrifice. Of course, he didn't play the Slav, but maybe rarely. But I thought Kasparov would be on the fence, I don't know if Kasparov would do it. Tal, stylistically, player who played the Benoni with black. Playing the Benoni is basically like losing a pawn, about the same level of disadvantage right out the gate. We're getting close to something. Where's my winning sacrifice here? Take, queen h3. Who's a hero? Need a little more force for that to work. So close, yet so far away. I can almost play knight takes. I wanted to play knight takes g3. So close. Bishop g3, bishop e3. Yeah, he's defending. How about caveman? Caveman style. The only way to fly. No, he just lost his mind. We made him panic. This may have been a really big inaccuracy by me. How do you finish him off here? I guess I should play queen h3. It's not over yet. It's just beginning. It's just scary, looks scary. I'm only up a pawn here. I probably missed the forced win, but I mean, e4 he went crazy. So when I played rook g8, sort of feigning g5, I mean, am I really going to play g5? Let's say a4. The computer slowly starts to realize, oh, it's 2.8. That's like old school Horizon effect. It's only 2 though. It's around 2. They had Anand on there and they thought black was better. Peter out to a draw until h6. Obviously they weren't using an engine. I don't know. I don't think that black was ever better. At best it would have been like equal. But I don't think you can be sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the game was a draw yesterday. I wouldn't have been surprised if Caruana had drawn Zen chess. But again, like, the question becomes like, why? You know, basically, why not just play normal chess instead of let's giving the guy a pawn? I think a very bad decision by Caruana. The Benoni would probably be equally bad. All right, let's play Asmir's Viking Beer. Played them before. Morwa Zen Chess. I mean, it's fine, dude. You know, if Caruana were playing like a regular 2600 or something, then he can do whatever he wants. You know, I'm not even sure there if it's a good idea. But you got to have special respect for the people who are like top 3 or top 5 in the world. Ding Liren, Caruana himself, and Carlsen clearly seem to be the dominant 3. You got to have more respect for them than anybody else. Maybe I've seen Carlsen also underestimate Ding Liren. It feels like in the past. Knight c6. Very rare move. Some sort of special preparation here. What's the idea? $500 Big Macs for $1,000. Let's see, how much is a Big Mac here? Probably, I don't know, $2. Probably the same. It's around $2. Do I allow knight b4? Seems like a stupid idea. The site that shall not be named. I couldn't stand the lichess chat yesterday. There was this candidate master spamming the chat. And I know why they're called candidate masters. Thank God you're not a candidate master, Blobix. I'd lose all respect for you. Let's see. Any kind of online chat forum, you know, anyone. It doesn't matter what site it's on. It's like a horror show. Just the open chat where anybody can type in whatever they want. Chess Bomb, the site that shall not be named. I'm sure it's the same pretty much world over. It's hard to stomach. You pretty much can't say anything. Yeah, ICC is the worst. Well, not the politics channel, but I mean just the normal channel. Like the normal channel, like when they're analyzing a game. You can't say anything without someone like insulting you. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I don't do chat forums, really. Queen e2, h6. So where are you going to get your counterplay here? Queen d5, maybe? I'm going to get me some counterplay. Clearly seems to be staking out that d5 square. My play was a little bit slow. Maybe there's nothing you can do about it. But I guess now I should play a4. Shake his tree. It's a good thing I left the rook on a1 to be able to do that. a5. Space. If queen d5, c4. Exclamation point. Followed by the Azerbaijan bishop e3. Queen d5, c4, queen d8 or d7, and then bishop e3. the final frontier. We just take all the space. Other than queen d5, what can he do? He's like spatially paralyzed. You can't be a CM since I'm an FM for composition. Thank God you can't be a CM. FM's not that bad. They should ban the CMs from chat. It's not even a real title. King Crusher was in there. But at least he doesn't diss anybody else, you know. He just puts out his ideas, which is fine, you know. Everyone is welcome to put forward their ideas. WFM title, I mean, it's the same level as CM, I guess, maybe weaker. Also, dubious, highly dubious if it should be a title at all. It's basically just a way for FIDE to make money, Zen Chess. I don't recognize WFM or CM. FM has been cheapened by the rule changes that allow people to like automatically claim it the minute they hit 2300. They should enact the old rules. There has to be a number of games minimum. You have to maintain the rating over 2300. That was way more legit. But I always tell the story how I got denied. I should have been an FM going back to 1993. The USCF was too lax in applying for my title. Then if it was by the current standards, I would have been an FM 2 years earlier. Automatic FM in 1993. Actually, yeah, I think I crossed 2300 in 93. What is 2100 Trickmaster? FIDE should come up with another title. FIDE coffers are going to run low, though, if there's no tournaments allowed. They won't be playing. Who's going to bail out FIDE? Like, and IM should maintain 2400. That's all you have to do. If you maintain 2400, you're probably stronger than the average IM. You have to just cross over 2400 for 1 second to be an IM. There's never been any kind of rule that you have to maintain 2400. A lot of IMs like got to 2401 with their norms and got the title, and they never were over 2400. In my case, I probably had like 3 or 4 years over 2400. But truthfully, I mean, the average strength of IMs is probably 2350 or something. No, I think the norm performance is something like 2475. It's not 2500. It's a little bit lower. Something around 2475, DK guy. It's not like Grandmaster's 26, but it's not flatly correlated by 100 points. I believe it's around 2475 prox. I think only like maybe 2 times in my life I was over 2500 performance rating. maybe 2 tournaments. I don't know if the FIDE like archives online are that good. You can look up. It's really sad too. Like I can only see my rating history until like 2001. Like that seems sort of ridiculous. It's not like that long ago. All the online records on FIDE only go until like 2001 to look up rating history. Like what was it, like a black hole before that or what? I think Grandmaster is 2600 for a norm. I am around 2480, 2475. 97. I think if it was 2500, there wouldn't be enough distance between GM and IM in the performances. Probably. 100 points isn't objectively that much. So it makes sense that it's more like 2475 for IM. 100 points isn't really that much. Asmir here hanging tough from a bad position. I've had about enough of this. You can have my c3 pawn. Rook take. You just resigned? I don't think you should resign. Make me prove it. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, knight takes, white now. It's true, I don't, he doesn't even have one pawn for the exchange. But I'm not sure if I have any combinations here that actually work. I was looking at bishop takes g6, but I'm not convinced. We're convinced by the computer. How does it actually work? Bishop takes g6, pawn takes g6, rook e6, I was thinking. Apparently queen g6 is stronger. I was a little scared of something like this diagonal, on the long diagonal in g7. I don't think I would have played that way. I would have just played rook takes c6. Oh, you have bishop e4 here. And then we go to heavy piece ending. Now this I can do. 3 pawns up in a queen versus rook endgame. I think practical. So you looked it up, the iron performance 2450. It's that low. Possible. There could have been changes, but I'm not sure. It's strange that you say that because for some reason I thought it was a little bit higher. I don't know if they changed it at all. I thought it was more like 2475. So that's interesting, DK guy. Possible there have been some small tweaks in it. I don't know. Probably not though. It always felt like it was higher to me. When you play in a tournament and I guess you have to. In round robin tournaments, you have to calculate your own rating into the equation. It's kind of weird. Actually, I guess in all tournaments. I don't know, somehow like you count as a player in the calculations. So it's not as high as you thought. Yeah, lower than I thought. More wow, what's up? I think they'd be too close together if it was 2500 and 2600. So guys, I can stream till 1 o'clock. I'm gonna be back on Sunday with a simul. Tomorrow's my day off for lockdown. Or what, playing the King's Indian? Really? That's like, I don't remember him playing King's Indian before. Interesting. New opening. The Roman system. I played this in 1 or 2 games. Gingy was a big fan of this, but it's not very exciting. The problem is there's only one other line, d5, and everybody knows the Pano variation really, really deeply. It's also very closed. I experimented with the move h3 in this position, but it's bad. Basically, after h3, cd, knight takes d4, bishop d7. I think black has threats of like queen c8, attacking this pawn, attacking this pawn. It's amazing how few choices you have in a given position. You think there'd be more room for choice here. White has literally only 2 moves in this position that are okay. It's kind of crazy. b6. Is this an exchange sack right away? Knight e5, knight e5, bishop a8. Knight takes c4, bishop c1. Now, I'm not sure if I should trade queens or not. Where is this queen going? My b2 pawn. Queen takes rook d1. We go for the back rank. Queen takes rook d1, bishop d7, bishop c6. Knight takes b2. The problem is knight takes b2. It's a little passive, and black has some compensation. I don't know if this was my best line or not. It's a good question. Jim, you thought it was winning, but it was all a lie. What are you talking about? Bishop e6. Not sure what he's doing. What is bishop e6 about? Trading. He's a trader. a3, knight a5. I guess I might as well take. It's less damage you can do later on. I have knight e3. Knight e3. Always trade. So bishop takes b2 looks like legitimate compensation. is with that. It's offering me draws. Wow. Yeah, it seems reasonable, actually, to offer a draw there. Objectively, rook b5, bishop c6, maybe rook b8. Wow. It's called spam, masturbate. You gotta love the snake oil. Probably I'm lost now. That's convenient. This is a draw. I see. How does that work? This has actually been played before. If you follow the opening book. Bishop c6 is a new move. This bishop e6 was such an interesting move here for black. Didn't really understand. f5. The engine agrees with that. Then changes its mind though. Wow, black made one inaccuracy the whole game. One inaccuracy, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, using like 1 minute for the whole game. It's pretty interesting. Quite interesting. 2700 level play by black. All right. He used like 1 minute for the whole game. There's not much to see. I can't play that well with black, probably. Yeah, I didn't think I was playing a 2700 player. But otherwise, I would probably accept a draw when he offered one. Practical decision to play for a win there. Oh yeah, your Viking beer, Juicebox. I forgot that's you. Okay. The Vikings invented beer, right? Blowbacks are funny. Blowbox. It's like Roblox. What is this? You found all my games from 1990 till today. You don't have 1989? Are you serious? There should be some 1989, 1988 in there. Don't even have the 80s? Played my best chess. 1989. I should have been the U.S. Amateur Champion. 1990. There's nothing from pre-1989, I think. FIDE says 1989 didn't exist. What do we got here? Knight g5? Queen e7. This is interesting. It was like all the highlights of Blavix's chess career are just erased. The 80s didn't exist. You go to the FIDE website and they show you a rating graph. It starts in 2001. Like, what happened? Did the previous FIDE records get blown up in the World Trade Center? I mean, seriously, like, there weren't any records before 2001? What is that about? Who decided that? Olymp base. Mount Olymp base. They have it recorded in scrolls. I forgot I'm playing Zen chess. He's good, right? Alright, he knows what he's doing, though. The funny thing is that the FIDE ratings used to be recorded in chess informants. You used to open the monthly chess informator and look in the back and find your FIDE rating in the book. Those are the good old days. Actually, black is probably better here. But Zenchess is scary in the opening. Very strong in opening. He's good all around, but this move was a little bit slow for me. I think the whole setup is hokey. Should I have played here the Korchnoi-esque, like bishop d3? d3 seems to be a mistake. It was a momentary lapse of rationality. The first draw entry, a draw. You see, that's weird. Because some databases, if you do like ChessBase, big database, will have even older games. There should be like a game or two from the 80s. So chess tempo is not very complete. Really complete database will have like 2 or 3 games of mine from the 80s. That's when I should have won the US Amateur Championship, but I drew and he won the tournament. What is Zenchess doing here? Why didn't you play knight g4? Looks like a really good move. The idea of f5. So now it's a totally different story. We're going to get a Caruana-like sacrifice soon, I feel. Maybe Caruana thinks that he's secretly Frank Marshall. Yesterday, an illustration of why he's not World Championship material. Do you guys think it was arrogance or just like simple mistake? Over-evaluating this. Dude, if I was like a backer for Caruana, if I was his sponsor or something, I don't know what I would do. I would freak out. He's got like the tournament in the bag. If he doesn't let Ding back into it. Dude, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was a great bullet opening. Yesterday, someone on the stream claims that John Gustafsson said he had seen e5 before. Does anyone else, can anyone else verify that? Has anyone else heard the rumor that it wasn't a novelty? Maybe Gustafsson just claimed that he had seen it in an offhand blitz game. It's not the same as like it getting played. Dorfman also said it had been played before, okay? We'll have to verify these claims. Okay, another question, right? Dingenrad normally playing the English a lot. I don't know him that well. I mean, his openings. Like, is he playing a lot of mainline d4, I guess? It's kind of a good question. I don't even know his repertoire that well, but I mean, I've seen him play the English mainly. Dorfman said that e5 would be played in 1 second by any of his students. I'm glad I'm not one of his students. I think Botvinnik would be like rolling over in his grave if he saw that move. I think what it does, it sort of raises a interesting question about stylistic preference. You know? I don't think like an extremely principled player. I mean, that's what makes chess interesting, though. You know, we have different views about these things. Dorfman is some Potzer chess teacher. But I think we need the context of Dorfman's comment, you know. How did he mean that? Like, as a good thing or a bad thing? Does it mean like his students are aggressive, so they would definitely play e5? Or did he mean like only a beginner would play that move? That's why the internet is difficult. That's why I have trouble not being sure if Kasparov would play a move like e5. He was trained by Botvinnik, but he liked... I mean, Kasparov's certainly willing to play an aggressive pawn sacrifice, like in the King's Indian. The Grigorich King's Indian game against Karpov in the World Championship match in 1990, for example. He's just sacking an exchange. But I don't know. This one was... too excited to play this novelty, I think, you know. You have to consider the opponent, the situation. There are definitely situations where that move would be a really good choice. But if he just played it in the wrong circumstance, I mean, the strongest player in the world next to Carlsen that he can face, and he's going to play this like risky pawn sacrifice. Plus, when you're up point and your opponent, I mean, you could let him back in the tournament. Just a really bad practical decision, I think. Maybe almost against anybody else in the tournament. But certainly not against Ding. Do I really want to trade queens here? Bishop takes h6. Is that a good move? I have this instinct. My instincts are tingling. Spider senses. An acerbate like sacrifice. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, you go that way. He went that away. Oh no. I just did that. I should just resign. Good draw. You almost didn't see it. I swear to God, you almost didn't see it. He took 3 seconds to take my queen. He wasn't going to see. You're not supposed to see it. I can't believe it. I believe that I hung my queen, but I can't believe you saw it. Because usually the rule is if you don't see it right away, you're not going to see it. It's a strange hallucination. I don't know what possessed me to play that. I couldn't find a good move. White is winning, but it's not so easy. Normally, in general, when you hang your queen on prees, if the opponent doesn't see it right away, they just don't see it. I saw even like tournament games where both players sitting there, the queen is hanging. And if one doesn't see it, the other one doesn't see it, they sit there for like 2 minutes and nobody realizes. But Zenchus just calmly sat there for like, 6 seconds? How long did it take you to see this move? Now the engine's coming up with, it says that you didn't take, it says you played it instantly. What's up with that? So I check here, I actually spent I spent like 8 seconds. So you actually didn't take any time. It was just lag then. We were sitting there for like 4 or 5 seconds. The engine claims no time. You played it. You actually gained 0.2 seconds. But we're sitting here this huge delay. I waited for that queen to hang. for like 4 seconds. Why is it? Yeah, the 2-second increment, but he gained the time. Look, it says 5.4. And when he plays queen takes f5, 5.6. So you're telling me that Zen Chess made that move in 0.1 seconds or something. No, actually 0.6. Yeah, there's the increment. You're right. Yeah, he used the 3-second increment. Yeah. 3 seconds. Okay. If I had seen it, I would have either seen it or not seen it. He took 3 seconds to see it. Terrible game. The opening was just tremendous for you. I mean, this is bad. This is a bad line, I would think. Apparently it's played, but not a lot of games. D3 is bad, dude. I knew that D3 was bad. Knight G4 here. What am I going to do after Knight G4? Maybe even Queen D2. But you're going to play F5 next. Nah, F5's too good for black. It looks like white's almost lost here. Wow. I would think that white's almost lost in this position, essentially. I would never repeat this again. I don't know why I played B takes C. I just wanted to be different. Queen takes is normal. All right. Viking beer. Good game. Did they keep the Botvinnik brain? It took him his 3-second delay. 3 second. You're glitched? No. You're glitched? Botvinnik's brain is with Lenin's. It's in Lenin's tomb. I'm playing well. Queen F5 was a good move. I don't know what I was thinking. I expected him to play Queen F7. That was literally my analysis. It's a really funny hallucination. Can you re-challenge me if I'm currently playing you? Thank God. Let's play another English. I feel so good about it after that last game. So against Zen Chess, I played B takes C. I don't know why I did that. Queen takes C3 is the main line, and I played that recently in the game. I had a good game against a player here on the stream, like last week, in that variation. The English was my first opening. But it's easy to play the English if you play the Sicilian anyway. My first chess book was like the English opening by Nigel Pova. I think maybe not my first chess book, my first opening book. The Viking beer. I also recommend the Grand Prix Attack Reversed. It seems like we got a little bit of lag or something. This particular version probably not the best for black, but not bad. Not bad, not good. This is like the other game, the bad bishop that could. Interesting questions. Queen E7. Will Paschall White, 50%, Rady 5. That's since 2001, right? That's like because there was no chess before 2001. I probably played more D4 than anything else. The vast spans of my chess career. As Uber Driver would say, I was an aggressive D4 player. But it requires a lot of work. Knight a6 is a cool move. This reminds me of the time that I played black in the New York Open against the now IM Alexander Kallichstein. And they published the game in Yasser's magazine, Inside Chess. He never moved his central pawns, and I lost in like 20 moves with black. It was an f5 English. It was so embarrassing. Like, the guy was able to deploy all of his forces and crush me without ever moving these pawns in the center. I thought that was kind of funny. So Viking Beer tempting fate here. Not a very reliable looking move. So d6 check. Queen e6. Queen e6. It's not that clear, actually. I guess I just take. Always take. It's really not that clear. I don't know how good this is. Maybe not good at all. Could try for cheapos with knight d4. Positional move. So close to something good here. Alright, juice box. I'll bite. Just for fun. Actually, I doubt this is the best move for white. Larry C. Larry and I only played a couple of... Actually, Larry lived in California for most of his life. And then he didn't move to the East Coast until the mid-90s. So I didn't actually meet him until 1995 or something. Larry and I only played 2 games. Both I was white and both were draws. But we hung out together, drank whiskey and stuff. Never played a lot. We played in blitz a lot, like in online sometimes, and also banter games on World Chess Network. So actually I've played Larry quite a bit. If you count the banner games on World Chess Network, going back years ago. I'm sad that I lost all my banner games from World Chess Network. It was a site that's defunct since I don't know when, but I have tons of games against good players. Only one move. I'm not threatening anything here, clearly. No threats. So what's the move? The magic move, rook b8. Rook b8. Is that the one move? We snuck him. The cheap rook takes a6. All right. So how bad is rook b8? +2? Wow. Structural deformity. That's insane. So Juicebox the engine says it's +2 for white. I certainly never would have evaluated that. Maybe +1. I didn't think my position is that good. So what's up with the opening there? Like 95? It's all been played before. Team Glud. C takes d4, castles, queen b3. Knight a6 is Heikki. Heikki played this in 1986, man. That's when Blobix was at his... Blobix was peaking. And I was just starting to play the game in 1986. Blobix has probably played Westerinen. Knight f3, queen e7. Creative player. I guess I didn't misplay this. Knight f3 is a mistake. So, wow, this actually happened. Knight f3 is a new move. Knight e5 is a mistake. Wow, look at this line. I totally missed d7. d7, bishop d7, and knight e5. Slight edge to white. Bishop c8. Of course Blauix played Westerinen. Alright. He was like the Finnish #1. How many years? Probably he was like the first on their Olympic team. Miralles, I'm seemingly very vulnerable today. Miralles, did you know that Jim is stealing your openings? Miralles, he's now playing your bishop d7 Budapest against title players and simuls. Jim, he's hijacking your openings. He's playing your patented variation of the Budapest. It was an interesting game yesterday. We went over in the... There's no way that two people can play that line by accident. He was cannon fodder in all Danish title tournaments in the 90s. Who? Oh, you mean like Westerinen for getting invited and stuff? As a foreign player? Yeah, he plays a lot of interesting stuff. Very creative opening. You know, much more willing to play kind of dubious stuff than most GMs. No, now he's old, and I mean his rating is probably like mine or something. I mean, I don't know, but you gotta respect the creativity. In those days, and there was no grandmasters from Finland. I mean, not easy to be the first one. This is my anti-Budapest. Miralles still hasn't worked out a system yet. Wonder how bad knight c3 is, but my bishop on c1 is really hurting. Yeah, I never played Westerinen. But he played specifically in Europe when I was always in America. And I didn't play in Europe till 1996. Well, actually, that's not true. I mean, I played in England, but Hastings doesn't count as Europe, really. Especially now after Brexit. Yeah, I got a couple games in the database from 88 and 89. The entire state of California has stay-at-home orders. I know. I work with a guy from San Francisco. On Chess Videos, Uber driver, he was saying how there's a stay-at-home thing. I'm scared. It's like, what is going on? I got a higher rating than Westerinen now. I hope when I'm 76, I'm still over 2200. I think that's not a bad accomplishment. But he also probably plays a lot. I love my position. This is the perfect type of position to play Miralles, although he's looking at queen g5. Castling might be a mistake here. It'll just encourage him to play queen g5. We're going to wait. Floored by Finnick. I'm hoping for c takes d5 and then pile drive you on the c file. I wonder what Salo Floor would have thought of e5 in the Slav yesterday. Not really an option, I would think. You know, what's the deal? Knight f6, trading pieces? Of course. So what do? I castle queenside. g4. h4. The problem is knight f6 is a good idea. Damn it. Knight f6 is a good idea. So we play h4. Attack the attacker. Vodka and sauna. Like my Finnish neighbor when I was a kid. Not a lot of Finns in the United States compared to other minorities, and we happened to have a Finnish neighbor when I was growing up next door. He almost killed my dad one time. So what was the plan here? Okay, just take. Always take. And then we attack him like a madman. How are we going to do this? It's not so easy. I say castle. What would Ivan Sokolov play? No, I'm not sure how good this is, objectively. Black might get some counterplay against my king, somehow. I don't know how, but position could open up on the queen side. However, bishop e4 looks. Not a problem. Coming to get you. Oof. You're kidding, right? About bishop f5? He's not kidding. Free tempi. Get your tempi here. It's like a really good center attack. Here comes the b5. That's his favorite move. Look out. You got me there, Blobix. I don't go back to the 70s. I mean, I do, but not with chess. I was playing Tiddlywinks in 1976. Begging for g4. Inducing the pawn storm. He wants to play b5 so bad he can taste it. You know you want to do it. You got to do it. b5. What are you even thinking about? He thinks I'm in... Maybe I have something on b5. I don't know, though. Can't believe he didn't play b5. h5. Hey, that's a good idea. He let me play it. What's this? Queen a4 is coming. Queen a4. He's on f3. We might have to go to endgame world. Can you really take on b3? On c4, I mean? Yes, he can really take. He can really do it. Look at that counterplay. Queen c6 with a double attack. Seriously? Can't believe this. Oh my god. You're kidding me. Oh no, I blundered. Great defense by Morales. But imagine how much more effective weird openings were back in the 70s. If you really did your homework. Well, I think if I ever played knight d5, he was going to take it. Definitely there was a moment where I could have played knight d5, several moments. And it was playable. I mean, one of the first things, yeah, we should be thinking about playing that move. He blundered, finally. Still not over. I'm not winning a piece or anything. Over. It's not over. It's just better for white. Tremendous position. Did I miss rook g1? So stupid, man. I missed rook g1. Here. He just loses a piece. But he didn't have to play knight f5 now. Maybe he has a move here. Rook a e8 or something. It's the best move. Not enough. But he just blundered with knight e2. Knight e4. Man. Knight c5, whatever. I'm surprised how big my advantage is according to the engine. I'm still significantly better. Here the computer thinks you're better or equal, and then this was crazy to give me all the space. I thought you should have played b5. Jim, this is very similar to that b5 you played against me in a different position. Not Jim, I mean Morales. Actually, I was thinking a6, I guess. Maybe that doesn't work. Well, you could just take here. Rubinstein had a problem with white against guys playing Budapest. What did he play? Like passively with the e3? It's pretty bad to lose to Vidmar in 24 moves. That's unlike Rubinstein. I would think he would have done well against it. Everyone has their kryptonite, but strange. I'll have to look that up. It's interesting. He did play bishop f4, which is good and safe. Strange that he would lose. I believe you. Blobix. The Ix. Alright. No weird openings today, just the Petrov. What did I get before? I don't remember what Blobix plays against the Petrov. Draw? It would be funny if you just like offer to draw automatically. Is the new Caruana going to play the Petrov? I like the old Caruana who beat Kramnik and So with the black side of the Petrov. This new one that plays like Frank Marshall, I'm no longer backing him for the World Championship. I wish I knew no, I've totally spaced. What is this? You're supposed to play knight takes d7. Does this transpose? Transposition. Transposition. What about bishop f5? Feels risky. Am I supposed to play this? Bishop e4 is a crazy idea, Morales. Crazy. Crazy awesome. The knight h3 is killing him. He can't get like any sort of attack on my king. I want to see this candidates tournament. I don't like as much as last time. Everybody's playing the English. Too many Englishes. I have enough of that in my own games. You know, just not interesting. If I want to see that, I can look at my own games. We want to see some e4, e5, some blood. There was one or two games. What happened with the... Did anybody else witness that game between the Pomniachi and Grishuk? Like, what was that? I have to go, guys. This is my last game. Oh, crap. All right, last game. The worst Berlin defense ever for white? Between the Pomniachi and Grishuk? Like, what was going on there? What was white doing? I have to take a closer look at games from candidates tournament. Really surprised to see the French. Uh-oh. Play could get sharp now. French. Well, without Rajabov in the tournament. Yeah, I mean, the French is interesting at least. It's not like watching the Berlin defense. Though I understand why people play the Berlin. To draw with black is a good result. French is much more complex. Very safe position here for both sides. Uber GM and gameplay. That's the new UGM. The UGM title. We don't need more titles. It doesn't matter. Titles mean nothing. Bishop E3. Good move. What can I do for you, sir? We have to be careful. Streaming GM. There's a lot of those. There's going to be more now. With the lockdown, everybody will be a streaming GM. Already I noticed several grandmasters trying to migrate to teaching online that normally do chess in the schools. It's a very bad thing for those guys who are professional chess coaches in schools and stuff. Seriously, that's a major blow if you were living by teaching chess in the schools. Not a good thing. We'll let you know, Fortuna Chess. I don't know, man. I wish somebody could answer that question. But I think the answer is different for everyone. In Europe, it's different than the United States, and it's different in Asia. But I would imagine nobody knows. It could go up. It could end in 2 months, or it could go on for 2 years. Who can possibly answer that question? I like how I have sports groups on my phone talking about American baseball and football. Yeah, forget about it. The Blob. Very solid. Not before April 15th. You know what April 15th is, right, Antonia? You were a resident in the United States. They have extended the filing deadline for taxes. Well, not really, but you can file for an extension. You can request an IRS extension, and they'll probably grant it to almost everybody. That's our tax day. I thought that was a joke. Yeah. I'm not sure how to play this. Blowbox. And it seems like a strange move to play. But whatever. If it works, it works. Rook E7. This is my last game. Pathetic Petrov. Bobix is hiding in his cabin in the woods. He's not hurting anybody. Alright, what are we doing? Move your minority. I'm doing a minority attack now. Probably a foolish decision. Preppers. Do you guys want merch? We're gonna get the I Love Endgames t-shirt. Blobik's favorite. Baked beans are the best. Wham! Crushing blow. Nah. How will Blobix react? His critical test. He's a prepper. What do? Do you take? Ignore it? Hope it goes away? You have a subtle in-between move. That's probably best. Blobix finds the secret move to save the day. Finds the best move after some careful calculations. Oh no. You simply can go there. What else am I gonna do? Stinking draw. How can you draw against the Petrov? This is the most aggressive opening. Drawing my Petrov. He could have gone for bishop f3 there. It's interesting. Things could get sharp now. Should I go d6 or f6? d6 or f6? Maybe d6. My intuition is to blockade the pawn, but we can always get over there. Pancake mix and baked beans. Breakfast time is any time. a4. Alright, is this enough to win? The further outside pawn? I have a bad feeling about those rook pawns. b3. Uh-oh. He could just go there. Yeah, it's going to be a draw. Right? Right? I have the right color rook pawn. I probably made a bad king move there, though. Oh, what? I don't know about the way I played this. Probably not optimal. Oh no. I'm gonna lose? Well, he's got a way to make progress. I don't think so. He does have a way to make progress, doesn't he? Not really. Can you play queen d2 check? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same position. It's a draw. Thanks to the game. I gotta go, guys. We achieved our Petrov goal to draw with black. My favorite opening. Okay, guys. I forgot my mask today. We'll see you tomorrow. Be safe. Bye-bye.